Hello everybody, welcome back to another edition of the EcoStruxure Machine Expert training. I'm your host, Leandro Almada, and in this video what we're going to see is how we can download an application to a Modicon M241 or M251 via USB cable or over Ethernet. So let's go to the presentation. The first thing that we need to have in our laptop is the gateway. So as soon as we install the Machine Expert, we need to make sure that the gateway is installed. If you're using SoMachine, then you will need to check on the SoMachine configuration manager that the driver for the gateway is installed. Okay, you can see over here in the version that you have, okay, the gateway and the optional driver should be installed. Okay, so if you already have this installed in our laptop, okay, we should be able to see the gateway management console installed. Okay, and here you can see the status of the gateway that you have. We're going to cover this later, but at the moment let's proceed with the presentation. So let me just put this the pen and continue. So we have in this family range, okay, the M241 and the M251. Depending on the version of the M241, you have Ethernet or not. If you don't have Ethernet, then you need to go with the USB. Then on the M251, you have the version with CAN open or with an additional Ethernet port. Okay, so what you need to make sure is the default IP address in any of these devices. So if we go to the full view, we just need to make sure the default IP address of the default network for this controller. Okay, so we can match the network configuration in your laptop. The XY that you have seen over here belong to the last 4 digits that you have in your MAC address. Let me just show you. Here. Okay, here you can see the PLC, the M251. Okay, here in the Ethernet port you have some MAC address, and here below this port, just remove this one, you can see the MAC address for these 2 ports over here, which is the same network. Okay, so using that you can check which is the default IP address for this controller. Okay, as an example over here, which is the same that I have on my desk, you need to check the 4 digits that you have, and then using the calculator, okay, you can change from hexadecimal to decimal, and this is the information that you can see over here. Okay, so once you have all this, it's important that you need to match your laptop configuration to this network, so you should be able to connect. So if we go over here, okay, in this case is the Ethernet port 1, which is the one they have. You just need to go to, just open the control panel on my side, just after a minute, control panel, then you just need to go to network and sharing center. Here you can go to change setup settings to see the complete view. Here the port that I'm using, properties, and here in properties you should be able to select version 4 TCP IP4 properties, and here you need to change the configuration of your network. If you go to advanced, okay, you can add different networks or more networks. So in my case I'm going to be in the same range, so I'm going to use this. It doesn't matter the other stuff, we just need to match the one that says 255. So okay, now that you have configured your port, okay, what you need to do is to try to ping the device. Okay, so if we open the cmd command, it's in the other window, there we go. Here it's ping the 10.11.197. Let me just show you. This is the port that I'm connected with. .231 should be able to have the connection. You can see I have a response from the device. So once you have this, you have the possibility to change in the software the IP address of the equipment. And depending on the port that you have the fixed IP address, that is the one that I'm going to use. You have the boot P in case you want to, based on the MAC address, assign the IP address, or DHCP based on the device network, assign the IP address. Okay, have this. So if we go to the application, you can see here I have the M251, okay, or here, and here you have the Ethernet port 1 with this configuration and the Ethernet port 2 with this configuration. Okay, so we'll just move this a little bit. Okay, so now let's continue with the presentation just to show you. Oh my god, here you have the HCP and you need to change this one. Boot P will be for the MAC address, and you see or fix, and you need to select the IP address that you want. Something important here is that these two networks must be different. So if you select the Ethernet port 1251 for Ethernet port 1, you cannot select one over here and then the 2. Okay, you will receive an error. That's why I use a different one. So if we continue now with the presentation, it's time to add, forgot the other one. So if you have the M241, okay, you have the same configuration, but only for one Ethernet port. So now it's important, before having the connection, checking this on the gateway. So you can type the gateway management console in order to access to this automatically, or if you have in your laptop, in the bottom right, you should be able to have access to this icon. This icon, okay, will open the gateway management console. We'll right click on this one, and you need to check the status of the gateway management console. If you press, for example, stop and it doesn't do anything, then something wrong with the gateway management console that you have, and probably I would recommend you to uninstall it. Okay, so in order to uninstall it, if you go back to the beginning, oops, over here, if you go to a Schneider Electric software installer in your laptop, you just need to uncheck this, uninstall, and then proceed again with the software installer and install it again. Okay, just a workaround if it doesn't work. Now, once you open the gateway management console, in order to validate that you should be able to connect, okay, what you should do is to go over here and type the IP address of my equipment. So if I type this 10.11.197.231 and add connection, it will start like connection in progress until I have connected as client. There we go, connected as client. So this will guarantee that I should be able to connect with the controller, okay, using the Ethernet port. So I'm going to release the connection and proceed. Okay, so if it's still connected in progress, there is something wrong. If it is connected as client, then it's a go. So now that we have the possibility to check the connectivity, it's time to try to download the application. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to use USB cable in order to download the application to the controller. So let me just put over here, change the view. So I'm going to open the software. Okay. In order to connect, you will need to go to double click into device 3, select my controller, okay, and then communication settings. Here I'm going to remove the Ethernet cable, okay, so you can see there you don't have any other connection. Remove all the connections, and here I'm going to plug the USB. So if we just move this over here and try to refresh, you're able to see the controller over there. Okay, and if it's a brand new controller, we should be able to log in but first we need to create our user credentials. Okay, so I'm not going to proceed with the USB, I'm going to proceed with the Ethernet. Okay, so I'm going to remove the USB cable and connect back again the Ethernet ports. So I'm going to remove all the controller list, open this and check if I have the connection. Very good. So control, there we go. I can see the device over here. Okay, but if I'm not able to see it, one way to test is change the connection mode to IP address via NAT and assign the IP address over here, that's our controller, and again, and then test. This, if we open the gateway management console, we'll add over here what we have tested before. So I'm going to test. See, we have added that in our connection. Okay. And just wait for it to finish. Connection success, target added to the list. Okay, you can see it's in bold. The same can be applied for the M262, but I haven't shown you the last time because I have some kind of issues with my connection. Okay, just put the other controller back in. So if I want to add this controller, IP address fast TCP in this case, test. The password is LTA, as I showed you in the previous video. You should have this. Okay, if you're not able to do this, please restart your laptop as I have done, or use the node name. Select this and select node name. That can make the workaround. In our case, we are going to continue with the M251. So the communication has been added. Okay, this one, and connect. So as soon as you want to connect, you should be able to see this message. You will need to read this carefully and then press Alt F. Then, as this is a new controller, it's new. Okay, I just changed the firmware and it's back blank again. So we need to create our users. Here you need to create your own user and then the password, but I usually use administrator, but in the other video I made a mistake, so I'm going to use LTA. LTA, let's just check. Perfect. So I'm going to use this one instead of administrator. If you're using the version 1.2, you probably need to use administrator with the first letter in capital. So LTA, and connect. So as soon as we are able to connect with the controller, okay, we should be able to download the application. So let's just wait for this. Yeah, sure. Just wait for this. Let me just adjust this a little bit more. Okay, so the application here is, I don't have anything inside. So if we go to details, there's nothing inside the application. So we should be able to download the application and proceed with a full download. So in my application, I have already configured a different Ethernet ports, okay, different configuration for the ports. So as soon as it's finished, I will need to log in again and change this configuration over here because I have new IP address. So let's wait for this to finish. Just want to show you that I got the error because it had a different IP address. Okay. You can see now here it appears the new controller with the new IP address. No connection to the device. Okay. So if you want to avoid this in the future, probably the best is now proceed this way. I just to show you how it can be done. You can make a right click on the device, then edit communication settings and change the IP address in there directly instead of download it and change and then connect again. So now I need to, if I try to ping the previous IP address, okay, there's nothing in there, or shouldn't be nothing in there. So if I now use the new IP address, and hopefully the PLC is already put up, okay, is a new connection. So now here, there's nothing over here. I can add this one, add connection, connected as client. And when it's already added, we can add a final IP address, 192.168.1.2.1.251. Okay, and connect. So it's the same. So user LTA, login, and login into the controller. So this is how you can download your application. So here you should be able to perform and start, because as soon as you download the application, it's going to be in stop. So you need to download and then press start. So if you go to the back, you have to stop or start the application, or here you have the icons. And once you finish with the application, you just need to log out from here or from build online, login, logout. Simple as that. Now, as a controller has two kind of memories. You have the flash, which is the non-volatile area, and then you have the RAM. When you download the application, the complete download, it will download your binary code into this flash non-volatile area. And when the PLC is in run, it put this image of the application in the online part, in the RAM. As soon as you power cycle the controller, this online part will be banished, and then the application that you have in the flash will go in the online. So now if we make a modification in our application, for example, let me just check, going to delete one of the PUUs I have over here and log into the controller once again. Then we have different options how to proceed. We have online change. So this means that the actual application that you have in the RAM, in the volatile area, will be overwritten with a new one. But if I power cycle the controller, okay, this will be banished and the previous application will be online. Okay, so next time you want to connect, something wrong is going to be in there. So in order to avoid that, you can make a login with download, or here login with online change, select update boot application. So the next time you have the latest application in there. And I'm going to do that. So I'm going to online change and I show you in which variable you need to check in order to validate or see you don't have any error. So if we go to the view of the controller, you're going to see later that depend on the LEDs that you have over here, it can indicate that you don't have the boot application. But if you are online with the controller, you can use the SIG PLC GBL. And here you can check the PLC_R. You can see this variable, different boot project. And if you go to online, create boot application, it will override that with the right information. So watch. So that a minute. Okay, watch, expand this part. Let me just double check. I think I have a inconvenience here. Okay, watch. Something wrong here. Let me just add a new watch. Watch 2. Sec PLC underscore GBL. Expand underscore R. Here you can see that you had a valid boot project now. Okay, so it means that as soon as you power cycle, okay, you will have the latest application that you have tried to download to the controller. So if you power cycle, this will be vanished, but the actual application that you have will be online. Okay, that means, so this is something that you need to double check. If we continue with the presentation, just want to check if I don't forget about anything here. We already covered this part, how to create the users. Here's something important. If you're using the Machine Expert version 1.2, instead of creating your user and password, you just need to use the default ones, which is this one. Administrator with the first letter in capital and the same for the password. We have already explained this part also, and it's important, as soon as you finish the application, try to log out. Okay, disconnect from the controller. Let's continue with this. I already showed you this part. There are no current application. If the PLC is brand new or you have already changed the firmware, you're gonna have this. This is the difference status that I showed you. Okay, how to check this. We're gonna cover later this PLC underscore R, but I just want to show you this difference. We continue with this, logout. Perfect. Yeah, I mean, it does cover everything. So if you have this message, okay, so probably something on the cable, you need to check the configuration of your cable in order to make it work. Okay, try to make the ping and everything that I have shown you. And it's important to check over here on the gateway management that you have this. Okay, if it's connected as client, then you should be able to connect easily with the controller. The other important thing is this, which is the selected. The selected is the one, okay, that is configured in your application. So if you go to status information, just check information, that should be for the latest application that you have. Okay, so the online version is the one that is over here. Okay, is the version with the online device. Okay, and if you have different, you should proceed with the firmware download. Okay, bear in mind this, if the version is 5.0.4, it means that you're using Machine Expert version 1.2, or inside the controller it has this version, so you will need to migrate that to use the version 5.1 so you can use the Machine Expert. The main idea of this is to match the firmware version for the firmware for the version of the software. Okay, otherwise you receive that message over there. So we have already made the connection USB, or I show you quickly how it should be the USB. Okay, check this part, check login, download different downloads, and log out from the controller. So far I already explained to you the different ways to connect and how to validate the connection that you have with the Modicon M241 and the Modicon M251 via USB, R, and Ethernet communication. So I believe this is all for the download application. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I see you on the next one.